Welcome friends to my Python classes, and in this video we are going to discuss a little more about loops. And the problem that we have taken in this video is we are going to accept n integers from the user and then display their sum and average. Let me explain the question. Here we are going to ask the user how many numbers user want to input, for which user wants to get the sum and the average. So the program is not going to have a static approach. It is going to ask the user exactly how many numbers are needed to be accepted. Now in this case what we are going to do is we have taken a variable n which is going to signify the number of terms. We will accept this from the user and we are going to run the loop that many times. In the previous video you must have seen how we can write simple programs using loop implemented on the basis of while loop or for loop or with the reference of the function range. If you have not seen all those things, I will request you all to go and visit my channel and see the previous video on the same topic. Now let us start with what we are going to do. I will start with while loop and then the same problem I will show using for loop. While loop is the basic form in which the loops are actually implemented, but it is considered that for loop is another alternative of implementing loops. So here we are going to take a function get sum average. Now I have written the statement to define it. The first statement that I should do is I should accept the number of inputs user want to put in. So initially I am going to ask enter the number of inputs, and that I am going to store in the variable n. Now here for running the loop I should have a counter variable which is also known as the control variable. Now that control variable is going to start in my case as 1 and till the value of I is not crossing n, it is going to run that many times. And every time in the loop I will be adding 1 to I. That means if the value of n is 5 and at present the value of I is 1, till the value of I is less than or equals to 5, the loop is going to run. And every time when the loop runs, I am going to make it incremented by 1. So how do I do it? That I will be showing you. But before that, when I will be requiring the sum of all those inputs that user is going to put in, I will require a container where all the values which user is going to supply will be stored one after another. Now how to do it? All the things are going to come to your screen right now. So I'm writing it, then I'll explain. Now that's it, and here what I'll do is I'll write Now the program is done. Now here, what is happening? Let us see. Say for example, if user supplies the value for n as 3. Now what will happen? In the initial state, the value of I is going to be 1, sum is going to be 0. So for our ease, I have written on the screen. Now in the initial case, the value of I, which is 1, is less than equals to 3, so the loop is going to run. Now the first statement inside the loop is asking for the value which is going to be stored in num. So for example, if user supplies 4 in that, now what is going to happen? The next statement which I have here is sum equals to sum plus num. That means the initial value of sum, which is 0, and the current value of num, which is 4, these two are going to be added and is going to frame the present value of sum, and this is what is equals to 4. So what has happened due to these two statements? We have accepted the value, it got stored in num, and then we have stored that value which user has supplied after adding it in sum. So the initial value of sum was 0, but now it has become 4. Now what is going to happen to the value of I? The value of I is going to be added by 1 and will become 2. So now the value of I has become 2. So we had these three statements inside the loop. Now again it is going to check whether the condition is true or not, and if it finds the condition is true, it is going to once again run these three statements. So the value of I now is 2, which is less than equals to 3. So again the first statement inside the loop is going to ask for a value. Now whatever value user is going to supply is going to override the previous value. Say for example, if user supplies 6. So in that case, what is going to happen? The value of sum, which is at present 4, the value of num, which is at present 6, are going to be added, and that is going to make the new value of sum, which is equals to 10. Now what is going to happen to the value of I? The value of I is going to increase by 1 and then it is going to become 3. So we have executed all three statements. Again, we need to go and check whether the condition is again satisfying or not, and if it is satisfying, we are going to run those three statements once again. So 3 is less than equals to 3. So it is very much satisfying. So what will happen? Again, the first statement is going to ask for a new number. So say for example, this time user is supplying any random value, which is say 3. Now if user is supplying 3, then what is going to happen? The value of sum at present is 10. The value of num is at present 3. So now sum plus 3, which is equals to 13, will be stored in sum. Will be stored in sum. And then the value of I is going to again increase by 1 and will become 4. Now what will happen? Due to this change, what has happened here, if now I go and check whether the condition is true or not, I will find the condition is not true. So if it is not true, will the loop continue? No. The loop is going to break then and there, and it is going to come out to this statement. Now what is going to happen? The variable avg is going to get a value which will be equals to sum divided by 3. So sum is 13. 13 divided by 3 is 4.3 3, 3, 3, 3, like that it goes. So now this is how the nature of this program is going to run the purpose. So let me show you whether it is running or not, and if it is running, whether the same output what we have seen here we can find in the program's output screen also. So I'll take you to the console. I've called it. I'm calling it for 3 times. First input was 4, second was 6, then it was 3, and then whatever we have seen there, exactly it is matching with what we get here. So that is how we can run this program, we can write this program using a simple while loop. Now I'll be showing you the same program using for loop, where I will be also using the function range. The program in for loop is going to look a little more simplified, but you all need to understand both the loops, where while loop is more explanatory, self-explanatory program, whereas for loop is little or technically masked to some extent. Masked to some extent means it does not talk about what is getting inside, what is running inside. It just gives us the outer shell where we can frame it. So in this program, let me again tell you that the value of I set to 1 is the initializing step, I less than equals to n is the test condition, and I equals to I plus 1 is the modification step. And what we do in a for loop, we combine all the things together in one single simple statement. So I'll be doing the same thing here. I'm copying the program and then I'm making few changes. I'm not going to have this initialization statement separately written like that. In place of the test condition, here I will be explaining it in this way: for I in range n. So if I write for I in range n, what will happen? This loop is going to run for the numbers 0 to n minus 1. If the value of n is 3, so range 3 will give me 0 to 2, and the value of I is going to go like first 0, then 1, then 2. So ultimately this also is going to run for 3 times and will give me the same output what I expected here. I'm using the same input sets so that you don't get any confusion. For this, we are getting the same output set. Although, if I want to bring a variation in this, I want to run it for say 6 times. So it's now going to ask for 6 random values which user wants to put in. And say if I want to give a negative value, that also I can put. So I put a negative 45. Now what do I get? The sum is minus 18 and the average is minus 3. So try more and more such programs. Type these programs on the console yourself, run it, and meanwhile if you're finding any difficulty, please put it in the comments. I will definitely take care of our problems, and if you want any particular video to be made, please suggest me. I will make a video on that. Thanks. Happy coding.